Yo, what's up, manga fans? This is Rafael from C Manga, and I'm here to give you a review of this week's chapter of Bleach 557. His life has already been set aside, and that is a mouthful of a title, but it's relevant to this chapter because it relates to what Komamura has done to himself and to achieve the new power that we saw in last week's chapter. Everyone can agree that was a brilliant theory from Kubo, the whole animal kingdom, Komamura's clan werewolf kind of theory, and how returning to that body, the humanoid body, makes them, infinitely strong, like more like godlike powers. And yeah, it was, as I said, brilliant. It was a very shocking reveal, and I've very much enjoyed that reveal and that chapter. This chapter does not disappoint either. It was more one of those, wave my freaking muscles or my piece around just to show how strong I am. That's all it was. It was kind of just showcasing the bankai, and one of those typical shonen things where it's like explain your power to the enemy. But yeah, we don't see much action other than, starts off with the bankai, Komamura's bankai swinging his sword, missing Bambia, and she retaliates by trying to fire at his face, but he blocks it. There's a hole in his hand, and she's baffled, like, what the hell's going on? And he explains that the Kokujin Tengen Mio, or I can't pronounce that last part, is, his bankai with armor, while the Dangai Duo, or whatever that is armor without, his bankai without armor. It's just pure Ryatsu and power. And she's like, oh, that don't make a difference. Like, she's just trying to say, oh, I can still hurt it. Like, you've just taken off the armor. That's no big deal. You're still gonna get hurt. And but he explains that Ryatsu, the ones that she inflicts into common, like anything, obviously, and turn it into bombs, it won't work with this now because the Ryatsu has no life in it. It's been cast aside, and that's because Komamura obviously, pulled his heart out and gave it to his grandfather, or if that's his grandfather, that dog, and it's in a bowl. So any of her attacks now don't hurt, don't do anything really. Yeah, they'll explode, but in this form, both his bankai and himself, they're more or less unaffected by it. Bambia carries on saying, oh, I've used your bankai before. I know that this is not what you say. It has life in it. I have used it. So using attacks against you on the bankai, yeah, it won't bother that, as we already know, but it will damage it, but it also damages you. And she tries it again, hits his chest, and he's just like looking at her like that, and he's got a massive hole where his heart used to be, and she's completely freaked out, like, what the hell is going on? And he says, my body is more or less just an empty shell, a vessel of power. Like, there's no life in this body in terms of, laws of basically the whole Ryatsu thing, because, the Ryatsu thing she uses needs obviously life to create a bomb. That body, both him and the bankai, is lifeless. So he's saying that to attain this, you have to trade in your heart. That's our clan rules, and this body is immortal. That I was like, wow, okay. So Komamura and his bankai is immortal for the time being while he's in that form. And yeah, so more or less, even if he's getting damaged, it doesn't seem to, he can't die, which is weird. So anyway, Bambia is like, how can you throw your life away, all that crap, like, isn't this the whole point you're fighting, so to prevent your death? And he explains that it's not throwing your life away, it's just putting it on hold. So it's like he's in a coma in some respect, or his heart is, it's just being placed aside so he can have this power. But it's like, just because I'm not wanting to die doesn't mean I won't risk it. It's like Yamato risked his life for him and everyone else, so he's, obviously paying a favor. He'll put his life on the line, or risk it, but he's not throwing it away just willingly just to, fight this battle. And then it ends with a massive slash, and there's an explosion, which I'm assuming Bambia has shot it or something like that before it hit. Don't know what would happen next time, but it's not that simple. Kubo never finishes fights off like that unless it's a Kenpachi fight where he just one shots them, and that's about it. So yeah, as I said, the chapter was fairly short. It was more of, my gun's bigger than yours kind of thing, showing off the power of the bankai, and it's impressive. I like the theories that are going with it. It's not just that pulled out of his ass kind of thing. Like we see him any manga where it's just thrown out of somewhere. Like, no, this has history. This is part of his clan. We've looked into Komamura's past, and it's very interesting because, as I said before, I was never a fan of Komamura. I never hated him, but now I'm starting to find more interest in his history. The whole thing about his clan being, werewolf kind of thing. There's an animal kingdom we're banished to, and how they can attain power by returning to their human form, which makes them also immortal. That's amazing. I mean, how can you beat that? But knowing Kubo, he'll have some sort of reveal that's going to have Komamura, I guess, at a disadvantage. I'm very on the fence with whether he's going to win or not. I'm not sure with Kubo, because he can always make you feel like, yeah, the guy's going to win, and then he just pulls it away and says, no, he's going to lose. So with Komamura, I am 50-50. He might win or he might lose, or he beats Bambietta and someone else comes and beats him. It's kind of interesting that, another thing I want to bring up, Komamura no longer has a heart. His bankai is hollowified, and we all know that hollows don't have hearts. So does that technically make him more of a hollow than anyone else? It's probably just a gag joke, but it is interesting to know that he's technically hollowified and he has no heart, so he's more hollow than anyone else in some respect. One thing I said, art was brilliant this chapter. I did enjoy it like last time. The drawing of Komamura's bankai, the sketching, the design for that was brilliant. Had a sort of Susanoo effect to it. I wonder if Kubo's been reading Naruto recently or looking at that, because it did kind of look like Susanoo, especially with the flames coming out of its eyes and all of that, and the whole kind of skeletal kind of thing with the horns. It did look like Susanoo, which was, interesting. But anyway, after this, I'm just assuming it's just going to be more probably similar chapters, and there's people for revealing their power-ups or their trump cards, and Ichigo and the others are obviously not going to be back until stuff is going to hit the pan. It's going to get worse. So I'm assuming we won't see him this year. We'll probably see him when all the Shonen Jump mangas come back from its break, because I know Naruto's going on a break soon. Bleach is probably going to be following it behind soon. So yeah, he'll be back after Christmas and the New Year, when things get really dicey, and these little cannon fodder battles are done with, and then the serious ones come, and then the tables turn again. So yeah, as I said, I'm really enjoying Bleach more recently. It was this whole arc, in my opinion, has been quite well, but we've had some slow parts, unnecessary parts, like where we was dwelling on stuff for too long. But these last two chapters have really spiked my interest. If Kubo keeps this up, I feel like he'll end Bleach on a very high note, which is what I'm hoping for. And yeah, it's just very impressive. As I said, I think he outdid himself with this whole Komamura theory, and I hope to see more of this in the future. So yeah, that was this chapter for today, this review. As you guys know, I enjoyed it. I'm going to stop rambling now, and I want to know what you guys think. Any theories, predictions, comments on the chapter and the next chapter, leave them in the comment box below. If you enjoyed this chapter in the video, leave us a like, because it helps us out. And also, if you're interested, subscribe for more content in the channel, as we're currently doing Hajime no Ippo Rising reviews alongside with the Hajime no Ippo manga. And if you missed last week's Bleach, you can check it out on the top right, and I'll speak to you guys next time.